missing there, Don, is Brad. What happened to Bradley this morning? All right, the market continues to slowly downtick here. A little support down here at 75. See what it wants to do down here. And like I said, just keep your stops in place. Bonds are going down. So that is, I don't know, lately we've been following bonds. So that's always a cautionary flag up there. You never know what's going to happen with this bond market these days, and how the bond market's going to affect, equities, only because of the continued talk of inflation all the time. It's always something to consider. All right, we're working the 75 area here. Let's see what it wants to do down in this little area, and then we'll go from there. And remember, keep your stops in place. That's all we can do. These markets give us that. That's the only thing we can do. We can find the good areas, but then it's up to the market and up to the market dynamics to be able to sustain it or not. All right. Again, we give you a game plan here with the levels, and then we add other price action opportunities that occur once the market paints some bars, and then together they give us opportunities to trade. All right, we're just kind of hanging down in here, see what it wants to do. Again, make sure you keep your stops in place. No reason to love any trade, as there's always another opportunity around the corner. We're just kind of hanging here around their 75 area. All right, there we go. Getting a nice rotation there off of our lower end of our entry point there, depending on if you got a point difference. If you got down to 74, obviously 74 is always 74 and always a good one. So if you partook in that one as well, you did okay. I have to like 74. I hate to say this, but 74 is 74 no matter what. It always saves us. There's always been many a time when that 74 saves us. And this was a perfect example. All right, so now we are just kind of hanging here, see what it wants to do. Get a little bit of a pop back up. If you didn't, if you didn't get out, or if you still have them, just keep your stop in place. And then the next support level is down at the 69 area. And I think, Don, you've been like targeting the 61 area for a long time.
Yeah, forever.
Yeah.
We got 64.50.
64.50. Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is what we can do here. We have our levels, and then you work them with, in addition to your levels as well, and then kind of work them in together. That's what you have to do here. And whatever the situation is, you always got to make sure your stops are in place and work them accordingly. That's the most important thing about our business, is to make sure you use your stops, and that way you're always ready for the next opportunity when it presents itself, in case that last one didn't work out so well for us.
Amen on that. That's my life story.
No, it's everybody's. This is the problem with this business. I wish I could tell you that taking a loss sometimes is the hardest thing to do, because that's a loss, and nobody likes to lose money. So, but you have to stay disciplined so that you can stay in the game and come back tomorrow. It's always the key. All right, so let's see. We have a number coming out here in about a minute. So keep that in mind if you're trading. And as we continue to slowly downtick here, the PMI number is maybe somewhat of a market mover. We don't know. But as the market slowly drifts down here to the 69 area, it could be a little bit careful. As the number will be out in about a minute. So if we don't like to trade numbers, and that's not the best thing that we like to do. And so if that's the case, and the numbers are being released now, just be a little bit careful about getting involved. All right, market continues to downtick, but we do, like I said, do have a number coming out here now, so we have to be a little bit careful about trading it around this number. It's going to be out in about less than a minute now if you're going to trade this level. Trade it very cautiously. You can tell some of the bids and offers have lightened up on the trading screen there. There's only hundreds up and down. And the closer we get to the top of the release, there's going to even be less. But this is what happens. But again, we are right down here at our level when the number's out. Like I said, we don't like to trade have any position on when the number is released. And so you have to tread lightly. All right, number is out, and there you have it. And hopefully we kept you away from the level only because we had to. We don't like to trade the number.
67.50 ought to slow things down a little bit.
As you can tell, Don has various levels on the market that can slow things down a little bit or not. We just try to space them out a little bit so we have a fair chance. And besides that, the other reason that I don't give you as many levels along the way is simply because we don't like to overtrade, which is always a possibility. So that's the one thing that we try to stay away from doing is over trading. Again, and there is a risk reward type of situation in these moments. And if you did maybe take it after the number came out, if you got in against the support area, remember it's an area, it's not one number that's got a hold, and that we scale in around that area. And hopefully you were able to do that maybe, and you got in after the number was released, and once it held, and you saw that, or at least Don told you the 67.50 might hold or slow it down, like he said, and then maybe you dipped your toe in a little bit there and got a little bit, got long against that. We had an area, the number was released, it kind of held, again, you have to sometimes adjust to and see what the market is doing, and that helps you with your decision-making process. And if not, you have your stop in place. So the one thing we talk about over and over again is making sure you have reasons to trade. And the more you hear me talk and the more you hear some of the reasons that we say, maybe that helps you reinforce the confidence you have in maybe entering into a trade and trading it accordingly. Again, we always would love to have reasons to trade. That's what levels are a reason, and the levels are created because of reasons. And if you can layer in multiple reasons to get into a position one way or the other, that gives you more confidence in executing that trade. And that's what we're trying to do here, is give you confidence in trading. Because, sometimes you're watching those numbers flicker on the screen and you're like, what do I do now? Right? And some people just willy-nilly just get into a trade without even knowing why they're getting into it. Let's see here. The Fed will soon begin offloading corporate bonds and ETFs it bought last year during an onset of coronavirus pandemic. The secondary market corporate credit facility was created to bring down borrowing costs for companies reeling from the crisis and was one of the dozens of emergency measures the Fed implemented to support the financial system. The secondary market corporate credit facility, SMCCF, believe it or not, they have an acronym for it, held the 5.2% in bonds from companies like Walmart, Visa, Whirlpool as of April 30th, as well as $8.7 billion in corporate debt, such as Vanguard short-term corporate bond ETFs. As the market continues to go down, next level of support we have is down at the 61 area. The usage of the SMCCF was a related vehicle. The primary market corporate credit facility quickly restored investors' confidence in major corporations' ability to issue debt. As a result, the later vehicle never made a purchase, and the SMCCF holdings peaked at around $14 billion last year. Just 2% of $750 billion that was available. Wow. So that means the actual Fed's presence in the market was quite limited. So again, this all goes to how much Fed is intervening in the market and how much the balance sheet is and how it's going to unwind all these debt that it has, right? As that is a issue that the market has to contend with at some point. I don't know when. Prices are rising everywhere. It's becoming harder and harder to find goods and services that have an increase in price in the recent months, while consumer price index rose another 4.2% in April. June, Kimberly-Clark raised prices 4% to 9%, and then Procter & Gamble said that it would mark up prices for the fall. Price tags for appliances from Whirlpool and others have meanwhile risen to double-digit percentages from a year ago. Costco is raising labels 20% or more for beef and up 10% for more for clothing. Restaurant costs are going up also. Chipotle just upped delivery prices by 4%, while raw materials like lumber, steel, and semiconductors are still near record highs. It's basically telling you inflation is around the corner, but some of this stuff, like what the Fed is saying, is transitory because of the after effect of the pandemic and the fact that people weren't working. They can supply chain situation. So until they get the economy back, hopefully they're saying that these things become a little bit more available, and the prices, supply and demand, simply is that. That's what it's at. Numbers are doing well as far as the virus is concerned, with the addition of the vaccine and how well it's helping. So that maybe will help at some point. I don't know. Again, welcome to some of the new folks that are here. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We are trading mini S&Ps here, scalping them. And we gave out levels this morning, which I'll repeat. Our pivot this morning is 4183. Support below at 75, 69, 61, 52, 43. And let me give you a couple more here just in case it continues to downtick. We have 43, 36, and then 28. And then on the upside, resistance at 90, 98, 42, 04, 13, and 22. So I'll give you a couple more levels on the downside. We've got 61 next, and then 52, 43, 36, and then 28 on the downside. All right. So that's where we're at. And as you know, some of you know anyway, I'll be leaving early, but my friend Don from Texas is going to be keeping you apprised of this market moving situation and adjusting and trying to find some price action opportunities for you, in case that's what you're looking for. Again, anything we do, both Don has been with me for a long time, has taken our education course and understands the concepts and ideas. And anything that we do here is taught. And the most important thing is we have reasons for getting into our trades more than anything else. So that's what we're trying to do here on an everyday basis.
There we go.
But you put it just to me. You got to put them out to everybody. I don't know why I can't do that. I just have a problem doing it. It's really annoying. And of course, Mark's not here. I don't know where he's at. I'm getting a little worried. He looks forward to being your wingman.
What the only thing I'm doing is I'm typing it in down there in the panel.
But then again, I try to like copy and paste and it won't.
No, you don't copy and paste. What you do is you highlight it and you hit Control C, and that means you copy it to a notepad on your computer.
Oh.
And then you hit enter and it'll put it up there. Then when you want to get ready to do it again, you just go down into your area that you've already done it, and you hit Control V, and that puts it back in there, and you hit enter again, and it'll just keep throwing it up. Like Control V there, and I hit enter, so you got it again.
See, that's why Donna is the assistant to the IT guy.
Yeah. Y'all are in trouble.
And that's why he does what he does, and I just say, okay, control what? I don't know what he's talking about, so we'll just like leave it alone and just say, okay.
Anything that you highlight, if you hold down the Control key and press the C, you just copied it.
Well, that I know.
Okay, but then if you hold down the Control key and hit the V, you just pasted it.
Okay. Same.
I don't know. It just works. That's
as long as it works. Hey, no, that's fine. Like I said. All right. So I'm really was starting to worry about Mark. I have no idea where he's at. He's not answering me now, and he usually is up early. It's even late for him. So let's hope he's okay.
Too much Play-Doh.
Yeah, too much beach, I think, or Disney or Mickey,
or Mickey, yeah,
or Mickey. All right, a little resistance up here as it rotates back up around the 76, 77 area. If you're so inclined, if we get above 79, pretty much want to be out of any shorts. If you're going to take a trade at all, we do have a number. That's right. We have another number in about 2 minutes here. All right. So let's keep that in mind. We have ISM services coming out. So it could be a little bit of a market mover. So again, we have to deal with, good morning there, Robert. We have to deal with the PMI number, which created a little push to the downside, gave you a chance there maybe to get long against our level after the number came out. And then now we're just kind of drifting back up here again, a little resistance right in this area. if you are looking for a little bit of a trade as it got up to the 76 area and then came off. Can we repeat the levels in the chat box there one more time?
Sure.
Control V, Z, V, X, Y, and Z.
I mean, I got this under control.
Yeah, you did got that pretty. There you go. There are the levels for you. All right. So we do, this number is going to come out here, but we did have a little trade here against our 76 to 77 area. We got up to 650 and change and came back down. So hopefully, maybe if you were looking for a little bit of a trade there, you were able to partake as far as a little bit of a scalp. I mean, that's what we're doing here. We're scalping. And a little bit of, like I said, a little resistance area was right up at that 76 to 77 area. Maybe you took part, maybe you didn't. But that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find these opportunities in the market, give us a little scalping opportunities for 2 to 3 points. A nice little rotation there. If you did get long after the number, that was the key down there to staying long. All right.
I hate it when it gets close to the number that you're aiming at and stops.
Yes, of course. That's even worse when it trades the number and you don't get it.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, let's put it this way. I've been there, been missing it by a tick. I've been trying. The worst part is when you're trying to get out of it, you have a little bit of a profit or you want to scratch one finally, and it gets to that, and he knows where to stop.
Yeah.
That's inflate. That's crazy. But just to reiterate, it happens to everybody. All right, the number is out here. Let's see if it does anything. But like I said, you can always tell there's a number, something's going to be released by the lack of volume that's in the ladder ticket. There's less than 100 lots up and down the ladder ticket, and you always know that something's up. The lesser those numbers are, let's say when there's like 50s and 60s and 40s there, that's the size. That's how important those numbers are. Tomorrow, when unemployment, if you're going to be trading at 7:30 before we open up, those numbers will probably be at 10 or less. So the importance of the number is always reiterated by the number of bids and offers up and down the ladder ticket close to where it's traded. So you always know what is happening as far as the number is concerned, in case you're trading and you don't know why all of a sudden all the bids and offers completely disappeared from the market. And it's definitely one criteria of noticing that something is up. All right, we've testing this little area here. Again, we already got short here once. We're not, if you did get short, the 76 to 77 area. That's what we suggested earlier. And now we're coming off of that. So I would not, touch that little area again. And once we get above 79, this could rotate back up a little bit, maybe get back up to the pivot area there.
I think my dilemma is I've got stuff on both ends. So which end do you aim at?
All right. Again, we come right up to our U-bend there. Did not get above the 79. So if you needed a very tight out, you got one. Now we're just dribbling back up on the top here. Our pivot here is 83. And so we'll see what it wants to do up here. Anybody have any questions, make sure you put them in the chat box area. That's where I can see them, or also where Don can see them. Chat box area is the place to be. So, and we answer questions from everybody, so don't feel shy. All right, we're just kind of hanging up here on these highs, a little resistance area. That's why it's having a little bit of trouble. But like I said, if we get above the 79, I think we rotate back up.
Good morning, Robert. You doing all right? Great.
There are two Roberts there, Don. You got Robert B and Robert C.
Yeah. Excellent. Any day's a green day's a good day.
That's right. Robert B, did you finally sell your apartment there? You should come to the States, man. They can't keep any real estate in inventory. They're flying like hotcakes here. Just move that thing over here someplace.
Shoot, just tear it down and sell the boards.
Yeah.
I mean, lumber here is just gone nuts.
Yeah, you know what? It's just, I don't know. Things are, these inflation numbers have got to be going to be crazy when they come out again.
They had, I was listening to some guy the other day, and he was showing a bunch of charts, and he was showing all the commodities, everything from lumber to beans to corn. Everything was going parabolic. I mean, it was just going, and you know, it's just going to take a little time for that to drift into the suppliers, and everything's going to have to go up.
Eventually, at some point, you would hope. It will, but it's just the other part that's going to happen is, when is it going to affect the market? I mean, we're still 42 handle close enough, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like we're scared. The market is anyway scared of what it sees here. So
it's going to go where they want it to go.
Yeah, that's true. As is always the case.
We're caught between that 79 and that 64. There we go.
Well, trying to inch its way up. I don't know if it will or won't. Well, they went down there and retested a level, and came back up. It held pretty much. We're just kind of sidewinding here a little bit. Again, unless they know something, there's a leak, and there's a possibility this afternoon could be a little slow, but I don't know. So
I guess for the last month, they have been selling it off or sending it up big time during the overnight session.
Yeah.
I guess they can do it and push it where they want to go with the least amount of volume in there.
And now we had Robert. We had the short against 76 to 77 earlier, and I said anything above 79 out of any shorts. So we had that short already. The 79 area was the exit strategy for any shorts, which occurred 10 minutes ago. So we had that. I mean, could hold here and go down, but it's a lot riskier now to take the short here because it already worked for us. Robert C.
I guess it's going to make the run at the 90.
All right, we drifted quickly up to our pivot, and our pivot players got paid off very, very nicely there. Very, very quickly. First rotation back to our pivot there. Nice little opportunity for you if you did get in. And we talked about not being short above 79, and there was a little pop. So I hit all the stops just like it was supposed to. It's nice when it does what you think it's going to do and doesn't surprise you. But hey, once in a while, somebody gets it right. It's a good thing.
It'd be nice to be able to get it right the first day instead of 2 or 3 days later.
No kidding. But we talked about not being short above 79, and we talked about a push up to the pivot. There are the pivot players who at least initially get short against that level first time back to it. Just like we talked about the blue banders. AMC halted trading after crashing 30%. That is amazing. What is going on with that? Just amazing. I'm still dumbfounded that you can't put controls on something so silly. I mean, when a stock that's not worth much is worth 10 times more than it should, and it keeps going up, something's wrong. And they say the market is very efficient. It always adjusts. It is. It's taking its time, though. We're short at 83 the first time we got up there. Not anymore. You got to have your order. I mean, it was such a quick bounce that you had to have the order in. So I would not be short at 83 right now. The next level on the upside we have is 90. I'm looking at that. But if you wanted to be short at 83, like, you basically had to have your order in initially. Missed it and came right off of it. And that's why we place orders in the market, because we never know when we're going to get that type of reaction that we just got, where the market pops and then quickly sells off. Sometimes it's hard to jump on board here and to put those orders in, but as long as you have a stop in place, once the order gets filled, then you don't get too hurt. Now we're just going to see what it wants to do. If we get above, it looks like we get above the 85, we might push up to the 90 area. All right. Well, you're just kind of hanging here. Support right now would be at the 78 area. Get below 75, you don't want to be long anymore.
I have a 75 and a 90 target. So which one do you aim at?
Yeah, well, we're right in the middle. So you can see here that Don has kind of a different way of looking at markets, and that's why it's kind of good to get him in and talk to you about kind of what he sees and how he looks at things, and you can throw some questions at him. You seem to get more of a people talking to you than they talk to me for whatever reason. So
well, I don't know why.
I don't know either. But I'm going to leave you all in good hands here as my friend here, Don, and hopefully at some point your wingman shows up. I don't know where he's at. I sent him a couple texts. He hasn't answered me. And well,
yeah, I heard that the wingman was a little tied up.
How? Where? He didn't send me any information. Maybe it could be.
I'm not sure, but I think you know those characters in L.A. They could get tied up for any reason.
Well, I think he had a rough day at the beach yesterday.
Got sunburned.
Yeah, got a little sunburn. He's very sensitive. Very sensitive chap. You know, it gets to like 55, 60 degrees. He's got his like winter stuff on. You know, he's. This is why we can talk about him, because he's not here.
Well, we have Benjamin here. Do you know who Benjamin is?
No, who's Benjamin?
I think Benjamin is his cousin.
Benjamin is his cousin.
Benjamin L. You see Benjamin L in the list?
Oh, all the way up top there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Benjamin L get in? Does you know Benjamin L? Do you know his cousin?
No, I don't know his cousin, but I heard that he's a very nice fellow, and he's interested in when he has time to trade a few.
Well, Benjamin L. So is Benjamin L. Mark's cousin?
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, Benjamin L. All right. We had a little buy down there at the 78 area. We talked about support down there. We got down to 78.5-ish. Hopefully, maybe you got in. 79 area, down in that area. If you did get in, there was a little support area that we talked about. Those are the kind of price action opportunities that you're looking for. So did you talk to Mark L. or is it Benjamin L.?
No, I didn't talk to Mark. And then Robert C. says he's your cousin.
I know. Everybody wants to be my cousin when I'm making money.
That's right. That's how this all started, right? People used to bug you about taking their relatives under their wing. Back in the old days.
Yeah.
Hey, Salio, my cousin over here, my relative, my son. I can't talk to the guy. I can't help him at all. Could you show him a few pointers on how to trade for me, buddy? Right? I remember those days.
Wow. You got that line figured out pretty good. You must have used it on somebody before.
Hey, can you watch my car for me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So no, that did not have too many of those actually.
Well, you didn't go to the ball game and ask somebody to watch your car?
Are you kidding? In Chicago, that's still here. Watch your car, all right. Watch it go drive away. That's what you'll be doing.
Well, down in the Bronx with the Bronx Bombers, we used to drive down, park our car, and then somebody would show up and they'd say, "Hey, give me $10. I'll watch your car." And believe me, you paid the $10.
That happens here too, but especially when you go down to the Bulls games. But in Wrigley Field, there's a whole bunch. The Wrigley Field, if you're not familiar with Chicago, Wrigley Field's in the middle of a residential area basically, and there's houses all over. And obviously now they put like a strip of restaurants and the hotel that they just built. Anyway, but it's in a residential area. And so somehow, I don't know how, but I got a hold of this guy who basically has a garage, and he takes his cars out, puts them on the street, and then he can fit 3 cars in his garage, and he charges us $50 to put your car in for a game for 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is. And it's like 2 blocks away from and there's no really legitimate parking there because it's in, like I said, it's a residential area. It's very hard to find parking at around Wrigley Field. The best way to get to Wrigley Field is basically to take the L, because it drops you off right there, and then you just walk a block and you're at the game. That's how I used to go all the time. And then until I found my friend here who owns this, garage, and we just put our car in there. I know it's safe there, so we just give him my car and walk a couple blocks, and we're there. So
now, didn't they have roof access to watch the game too?
Well, no. Then what they did was they built these roofs on top of Wrigley Field. This was before the Ricketts took over, and as a matter of fact, we had a couple parties up there, Christmas parties. Some brokers took us there. They rented out the whole roof, and they invited all their clients or whatever. And we went up there. They have a barbecue, and you have beer and wine and whatever. And they have these bleacher seats that they set up on top of the roof. And you can go up there, you can watch the game from the bleacher seat, or you can put, they have television sets. You can just sit there and drink, eat, and watch the game. And then if you want to look at the field once in a while, you can look at the field and say you went to the game. But yeah, we were there. We've been, they had some nice, he rented out the whole deck for for a broker who has thousands of clients, for $10,000 to rent out the whole deck, the whole rooftop wasn't bad for a game for them. So that's what they did to keep all their clients happy. So I got invited to a couple of those every now and then, and they were cool. As long as the night is beautiful, and Chicago sometimes it can get really nice at night, and especially in summer, not too hot. It can be a nice place to be. But you're not really watching the game. You're going there for the camaraderie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's funny. Nowadays they don't do that much anymore when it comes to broker entertainment.
Because the Ricketts put up these big posters so you can't see the field. They put up a scoreboard on one side, so the people who were leasing out their rooftop couldn't. And then they sued each other, of course, and the Ricketts decided, okay, we're not going to build our screens higher than a certain amount, so you can get a little. They wanted to take some of their money that they were profiting off the Cubs, because everybody gets a little bit piggish here. They can't let people just. Everybody wants what? Why are they making so much money? Let's get some of that money for us. I mean, that's basically what it turned out to be. That they ended up suing the Ricketts because the Ricketts kept building scoreboards that cut the views from the rooftops to the game.
It's amazing, right?
I mean, it's just incredible. It's just, I don't know if you know what's going on, but if you like horse racing, Arlington Park is one of the most beautiful horse race tracks in the world, if not for sure in the country. And the Churchill Downs bought them out a while ago. And Churchill Downs is a corporation that owns a whole bunch of racetracks, and including where they have the Kentucky Derby. Anyway, they basically are shutting down the place because they're not making enough money at the racetrack, because they can make more money selling it as real estate and building it out. So they're closing it.
Oh, that's crazy. That's what they started to do actually with the golf courses around the country. Now golf's back. A lot of golf courses. Actually, one of the towns next to us just bought out the local golf course, and they're not sure exactly what they're going to do with it. They may turn it into a public course, from private. But a lot of the courses around here are doing really well, and I think a lot of it was from COVID, because it gave people an opportunity to get out and about on the golf course. I thought that was interesting.
Well, the golf courses had their height of popularity when Tiger was in his prime, like 20, 15 years ago. So you had a lot of these golf courses that were raking it in because they were charging a ridiculous amount of money to go play golf, because everybody wanted to go play golf. I mean, I've been playing golf for a long time, and I used to pay triple figures, at least $100 around here, to any golf course that you go to, because it didn't matter what you went to, you had to pay. Now you're more in the $50 to $60 range for a round of golf, for the same golf course that you used to pay $100 for. But what happened is, because the popularity kind of sunk a little bit, the golf courses don't make as much money as they used to, and there's you need at least 200 acres of land to have a golf course, a nice sized golf course on there. And the 200 acres, and then you have houses built around it. You can make a lot more money selling those, buying the property, cutting up the golf course, and putting in houses than you can, not charging $100 for a round of golf anymore.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. They say the biggest waste of real estate is golf courses, and
I don't think it's a waste. What are you talking about?
Wasn't that from Caddyshack? It was graveyards, and.
Okay. First of all,
remember? Did you ever watch Caddyshack?
Graveyards do not lose money, okay? Because they make plenty. I can tell you that much. They just rip you. You have no choice, and it's ridiculous. Don't even.
You got to get the perpetual maintenance. That's the thing, right? Perpetual maintenance.
Don't even put graveyards in that same category. They're making money left and right.
So Caddyshack, right? Who was it? Rodney Dangerfield said, because he was the big condo builder, and he said, "Hey, the biggest waste of real estate is golf clubs and graveyards." That was a big joke of his.
It was a jokester.
It was a real card, right? It's a real cut up there, Saul. Real cut up.
I went to see him, by the way, when he did his tour. Basically had the same stuff he had in the movie. But he also had at the time, he had a record that was released with all his jokes. I don't know if you remember.
Well, I do. Somebody who was extremely popular. The one I used to, and I missed, and I'm not sure if he's still alive. He might not be. But Don Rickles. Oh,
I think he died.
Yeah, I mean, he was cut from the similar cloth. But Don Rickles was. I would have loved to have seen them both. I didn't see him.
Yeah, see, Casey saw him. Casey saw Rodney. Was this in his prime or before he got popular? But then, who knows? But yeah, no. But he was fun in his prime. Yeah.
I wish I'd seen the Rat Pack in action out in Vegas.
Keep up with them.
I wouldn't I wouldn't last 10 minutes with them.
No.
But they apparently were having a good time.
Where Mark is today, he's probably hanging out with them. He hung out with them last night. All right, I got to take off. So everybody, Don?
Yes, sir.
There we go. Don, unfortunately, you got Brad as your wingman right now.
Okay, that'll work.
Brad, got to keep Don entertained for me.
Oh, I tell you, Don is something that's the same thing. I mean,
he's the legend.
It's very hard to keep Don.
He's a legend. He's right up there with Rodney.
Oh, he's definitely. He's got the whole Texas thing working. I don't know where he is now. He could be in his machine crossing his property.
His yacht someplace.
Yeah.
Well, he did dig out that huge, we call it a pond, but you can't see it to the other side of his.
Right.
Just for his boat.
So he stocked it up with some fish too, so he can go fishing.
You know what a P-row is?
No.
Well, a P-row is just a Cajun flat bottom boat that's pointed on each end that you use to paddle around. Well, I got one of those, and it says my other boat's a yacht.
Yeah, Don, come on. We know that, one day we're going to have this outing to Vegas.
No, we're going to go to Texas.
I don't know if we could survive Texas. I don't know.
It's just hot and wet down here. Let's go to Vegas where it's hot and dry.
I just know one thing: if we're in Las Vegas and Don is arriving, there'll be such fanfare, and all you'll see is a shadow of a giant hat coming across all the lights, and they'll think it's like some sort of an eclipse as Don approaches, and the lights start to change, and you see the outline of that magnificent hat, and the cigar, and the whole Megillah.
The reason I wear a hat is I don't have enough hair to keep the sun off of me.
Well, that's okay. The size of your hat could fit Texas in it.
So that's funny you say that, because my friend he's kind of balled up on top a little bit, and he wears a hat all the time. And he was saying that he was talking to somebody and he took off his hat, and the guy goes, "I never knew you were bald." So there's those. I don't know. I think he looks good without the hat, but everybody, I mean, most of the guys who are a little bald up there have a little problem with their hair covering it up, whatever they got left.
What, that sun, there's nothing worse.
That's true too.
The guys without that shave their head get away with it. Man, that sun is tough on mine.
Right. That's true too. You're right about that. All right, I will take off. You guys hopefully have a good remainder of the day and kill it. And we'll be ready for unemployment tomorrow. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Take care.
All right, Don, I think I have to adjust your mic up a little bit. How's Don's sound?
How's that? Any better?
Can you hit the raise sound button on your technology there?
Let me see what we got here.
Because you should be front and center. Saul was coming through pretty good.
Yeah. No, I don't have that capabilities here.
You don't have, well, don't they have it on Zoom? You can't raise it on Zoom? Can't you zoom it?
Hold on.
Hey, Calvin, welcome. Hey, Benjamin. Hey, Benjamin, we were chatting about you a little bit. Let us know back in chat if you're there. Use the chat feature to respond. Arnie, welcome. Hey, Carlo, I saw you sneak in there. Charles F., welcome. Hey, Fred.
Mine's all the way to the upper end.
You sound better now, Greg W. You might have to sit up in that chair. Laura H. Hey, Laura, I reached out to you yesterday. You are you still you still there? Just let me know back in chat. Roy E. Hey, Roy. Tim S. Nice talking to you yesterday. Hey, Benjamin. Welcome aboard. I know I shouted out to you when you first came on. I talked to is it your cousin yesterday?
I'm assuming everyone can hear me.
I can hear you. Can everybody hear Don?
Thank you.
Oh, there you
Appreciate
go.
It.
There you go. Now you know how I feel. You get one. But Casey's very good. Casey, we appreciate it. Hey, Chad, how are you?
Maybe if I talk a little louder, that'll help.
Let me hear it. Let me give me one of them hippo hurricane hollers. Well, Benjamin, he speaks very highly of you.
So Mark is your cousin, huh, Benjamin?
What, you didn't believe me? Am I in the disbelief camp? Yes.
You'll have to tell him when you talk to him that we missed him.
Hey, Steve K. Welcome aboard. I want to do a quick overview about what we do here on a daily basis and what the opportunities for you are as it relates to your trading. This is an opportunity to really focus on making money based on having a computer, having trading software. You can basically have your own business. You have to be good at it.
This some people not working out like I had planned it to.
Uh-oh. Talking about your trade? Oh, you're talking about me interfering with your time.
77 down there, and it went down there and bounced off of it. Didn't take me.
Uh-oh. Now, Don is a trader. He's been trading for a number of years. He's actively scalping. He's scalping based on, I guess, Don had been trading a while before he met Sol, tried a bunch of different things, and now he has incorporated Sol's price action trading methodology and his levels.
Two areas that I'm looking at. One the 75 and the 90. Sol and I are both on both of those. It just,
it's one of those things that
we need to come back down to the 75 and go to 90. It may go to 90 then to 75. I have no idea.
Well, that's the interesting thing, right? You've got to pay attention to market action activity. I call it, remember after the snap, they call it trade action? No, actually after the snap, they call it play action. After the opening bell, you got what they call trade action.
I just want out.
So I'm going to step into the background, let Don work his trade. For those that are interested, stick around. If you need trading software, let us know. Interact with us so that we can help you in your trading business.
Let's go 75. I've done got a little skittish. It's been getting close to my target area and then turning around and reversing. Come on. That's close enough for me. There we go. Now it depends on how it holds this 75, whether we're going to go down and test that, aim for that 64.50, or we're going to run to 90. I imagine the 90 is going to be after lunch sometimes. I was using our 75 level as a target area that we should have gotten back to, and we did. So I was just in a hurry. I get in a position I want it to work out now. I don't want to wait. Nah, I'm flat at the moment. It just it's going to have to do something. But the problem is when it does it, it's going to do it so fast, odds are you're not be able to get into a position. I'm not showing anything. Like I say, I'm just happy to be out at the 75 area, and because I was in a hole before, and it came down to the 77, and I started to get out, and it was too late. So yes, I make mistakes like everybody else. I make plenty of mistakes. How many It says, Don, how many trades do you average per morning trading session? Win rate and the number of tick points do you average per contract? Well, now I've been in here since 7:30 this morning, and I have traded a little bit. Let me see where I'm at here. Date is the 3rd. Today I've had 9 trades. My average winning trade has been $109. My average losing trade's 112. My largest losing trade was $150. Let's see, do I have the largest winning trade? Yeah, my largest winning trade wasn't but 4 points. You know, my average trade's about $60. Average winning trade's 108, 109, somewhere in there. And I've had 9 trades this morning. And that's per contract. So I've lost a little over 4 points. And I've gained 10 points plus the 4 points I've lost. So I'm ahead. No problem. That's just what it is. And, you know, and I'm not trading 10 lots. I'm trading 1s and 2s. No, actually, I'm up 10 points. 537 plus 2 something. I've grown 700 and I've lost 225, so which left me 500 and something. And take out for commissions, which is about $40. So I'm up 10 points. So I netted 10. You know, this, and I'm not, please don't, I'm not bragging. By no means. I mean, I suffered through a lot of big old drawdowns, and Tuesday ate my lunch. I mean, I lost several $1,000s Tuesday. I made it back up, but still, you got to look at what's our goal here. Our goal here is to scalp the market. It's, you know, it's great that we can catch these bigger swings, and you can make a lot of it back real quick. It did something at 9 o'clock that I was anticipating it, but I wasn't quite. I was looking for 85 instead of, and it went up to that 83 level. And then we got back. Then we had to go back to 75, which we did. The next question is okay, are we going to continue on up and go to the 90? That, you know, I don't know. We're just going to trade that as it unfolds and starts to show more of its hand. So for me, my goal is really simple. You know, if I get into a trade and I make 1 or 2 points, I'm happy to get out. It may run 50 points. Well, you know, I don't have the luxury of having a 5 lot on and and going and going and going. You know, I have to trade what my account size will and try and hold my losses to a minimum. So, you know, so anytime that I figure if I get into a trade, and I took one this morning, I got in and I made 2 points and got out. But I wasn't in it but like 3 minutes. And I'm going, man, I made $100 for 3 minutes. I like that. And you're not going to catch every trade in here. You're just not unless you're an algorithm and you've got some fantastic way to trade. But for the most part is you sit back and you wait for the opportunities to unfold that you know that will give you these areas. And the question is when we get to 88, is 88 going to stop it, or is it going to let us go all the way to 90? Under a normal day, if we were trading when we hit resistance, I would say the 88 would stop back up to 86. Then it would have to make another run at it. But don't know. So if you're long down there at the 75, and there was a good reason to be long, probably about 77 area. You know, you're into this thing. You're already 10 points into this thing. So we had a level up there, at which at 90, we had one at 75. It unfolded. I had a reason to go long, get long there, see what happens. I'm up. If I don't care if it goes to 90 now. I would say, okay, I've captured 10 points out of a 13-point run. That's good enough. I'm out. Well, there's 89. You know, it is what it is. Now, when it gets to 90, I don't know what it's going to do. But as it stands now, the 88 should give us about an 86. Excellent. So in these markets, if you're willing to see, now we're coming on to 10 o'clock. It's going to slow down a little bit. This morning so far, except for that little hole I dug myself into. And I was able to get so you can catch little runs like this, and it doesn't. And the reason that I took the run was if you're in Saul's class, you would see the reason. Let me see what it's showing here. So, but I was already long going into this thing. And, I got up to the 87 area. It's time to get out. We were able to capture from the 77 to 87. That's a 10-point run. And that's with a one lot. So, and I had a reason. Now, I can't tell you what that reason is because I don't know who in here is in Saul's class and who's not in Saul's class. But this is according to Saul and what he has taught me. Well, there's the 90. Next question is will it run to that 91 area? I've got a bunch of areas. 91 and a quarter to 92.50, somewhere in there. And also, we have a high, a low of yesterday of that that 97 at 41.90.75. So we're coming up on yesterday's low. Excellent. You're getting the hang of it now. And as long as you got to do is you just sit back and and it's not about one trade does not make you a trader. And my trouble is I see all the little ups and downs, and like Saul says, if you don't take yourself out of the trade, you're not ready for the next opportunity. You're stuck in a losing position. And let me tell you, it can get a lot worse before it gets better. I'm the poster child for that one. Let's see, I was a little over 3 years now, Carlos. It took me a little while. I'm assuming, Saul, when you take a course from Saul and you sign up, he'll call you. He will talk with you. Okay, what's your experience level? What are you looking for? Then he'll tell you, okay, I can help you. And he says, I can help you. That's exactly what he told me. He said, I can improve you. I can make you a better trader. And I'm telling you what he told me. And he's lived up to that. He has made me a better trader. I think we all get caught up in the money. And yes, that's why we do it, for the money. Bottom line, we're here to make money. That is our bottom line. And and I shared with you this morning, I lost some money. I lost 4 points so far today, but I'm up considerable, way more than I've lost. So I don't care. Losing is just part of it. And probably the first thing that you should ask yourself when you get into a trade, I knew exactly where I was wrong. At 77 to go long this thing, I am wrong below down there at that low. What was it, 75? Yeah, I'm below, so I'm risking 2 points. And I was shooting for that 90 area. Well, I got 10 points out of it. I said, enough's enough. I don't care. Because I also saw an 88 in there. And but I also have some numbers that they didn't make it to yesterday that we should maybe get back to today. I don't know where this thing's going. But when it gives me an opportunity to trade it, then I'll trade it. And like right now, I'm flat. Wish I'd still been long, but I don't care. The move that I had was a good move, and we're waiting for the next opportunity to unfold. And so there's a lot of times that I'm wrong 4 or 5 times during the day. But I'm trading Saul, and he is right. You got to understand that what he may say something like, we only want to trade 3 or 4 times a day. You don't want to give your money all to somebody else. Me, I'm in it for the opportunity. Man, where's the next opportunity? And there's so many of them during the day. It's kind of like a streetcar. There's going to be another one along in a minute. And it's just really... I'm getting better. Guys, I'm going to take a break for just a minute. And I'll be right back.
Hey, if anybody has any questions about signing up for Sol's Monthly, or actually, why don't we do it this way? For those that are part of Sol's service as a guest, raise your hand and I'll send you out the opportunity to sign up for Sol's Monthly at a discount. Hey, Albert, let me know. Herman R., Roy E., raise your hand. I'll send you the information. Laura H., Charles F. Hey, Albert, appreciate it. Roy E. Hey, Tim S., did you sign up for Sol's subscription? I actually got to dig it out here. There's a discounted one that you should get. Here we go. Albert, it's coming out to you. Appreciate it. Take a minute. It just takes a minute to go through PayPal. It's under your control. By doing this way, you're saving yourself $279 a month. Usually it's $379. Right now it's on for $100. So Calvin and Albert, you have it. Roy, I'll send it out to you. Hey, Herman, are you, you've been in before, right, Herman? Tim S., let me know if you're back. Tim S. Hey, Anupam. If anybody needs a repeat of the levels, let us know. Be glad to repeat them for you. Hey, Frank, Fred, Glenn, KG. Hey, Laura H., not sure about you. I tried to get a hold of you earlier. Let me know if you're back here in action. Use the chat feature, respond. Obviously, we want you to stay and be comfortable. Let us know back in chat. If anybody wants to know about Sol's mentoring and his coursework, we do private calls for that for those that are part of his friends and family, which is that monthly subscription that's discounted.
Well, we've got another level up here at 98. Got one at 99, 98, 99 area. They're wanting to push this thing hard high. Well, we touched the 99. Should have gave us 96. Yesterday we had a 4200. I know that if we get above 99, we ought to see the 01 area. We still need to see that 96. And we're just chewing around the 98. A lot of times, I'm talking 99. Saul's the number this morning was 98, and a lot of times the reason for that is that he wants to make sure that you're able to get into the trade. So, the 99 was a good level. The 98 would have allowed you to get the 97 50s and also the 98 50s. You could have got both ends of it. Is it going to work? We don't ever know that. It's just kind of like that's what the stops are for. So it goes along with, or are we right or wrong? If you're unhappy with it, then you'll probably get a chance to scratch this thing. But if you don't, that's what the safety net's there for. Let's see, 599. I've got numbers everything from 98, 99, 4200, 4202. I mean, I'm showing a lot of resistance in this area. Now, are we going back to 96 right now? I have no idea. But if we don't get back to it pretty soon, you can just about write it down. We're going back to it eventually. And maybe days from now. But, when it does something or it hits a reaction point and it doesn't react, then something's usually not correct. I also have the 04 as a target area today. But I've got resistance all the way from 98 all the way up to the 04. It's hitting it, it's bouncing off, but it's not giving a good 2-point reaction area. I have not learned how to let them ride. You may be right there, Robert. If we can get back to 4,200, we ought to go a little lower. I think the only indicator that I'm actually showing on my chart is volume, and unless you count the moving averages. Somebody's got a 600 lot sitting at that 4,200. I'm not even looking at fibs. I'm watching the price action, seeing what they're going to do with that 4,200, if they're going to take that 500 and something lot there. Yep, they're going to get it all, it looks like. Problem is, I don't know if somebody was short up there and getting out there, or back to the 99. Yeah, we should. I mean, I've got a line sitting there at 99. Yeah, just a minute ago, there was a 600 lot sitting there on the buy side. 99 should give us an 01 and also should give us a 96. Now, how's it going to play out? I don't know. If I hadn't traded so much earlier, I would be trading this area, but it's kind of like, nah, not for 2 points. I don't want it. To make my analysis correct, we need to touch the 96. And we also need to touch the 4201. So if you were gutsy enough to try and hold on to it at the 99 or the 02 level, you're getting paid off. After the drawdown, I'd be bailing out. It is. I mean, you get to thinking you know what it's going to do, and as long as I don't have any money on the trade, I'm usually pretty accurate on calling them. it just when I put money on it, it decides to do the opposite. I mean, is it a guarantee that it's going to touch the 96? No. Should it? Yes. For my analysis to be correct, it should. But, you know, kind of like grenades, just close enough. Get out. You know, if I just really had the 96 target, I'd be bailing out at a quarter to a half before it. I'd be fading that target. You know, I'm also looking down on a 1 minute chart, and if 1 minute bars are fast, you don't have a whole lot of time to make up your mind. So you got to have your order almost sitting in there, or if you wanted to go, I say if you decided there went to 96, so it touched it. But if you wanted to go long, you'd have to be long at 96.50 or 96 and a quarter. And I don't know that it's not going to keep on going down. But I also know the 01 is still in play. Of course, we may run all the way back down to the bottom down there. But when we do turn and we start back up, I know that area still exists. And it gives me a lot of times, especially this late in the day, we're coming on a 10:30, Europe shutting down. They pushed it up. They're getting out of their positions. If they didn't want to stay in overnight, this market's starting to push down a little bit. And it's going to be a little while till they get all of their ducks in a row and this thing stabilizes out. And we're coming up on, by then, about 11 o'clock. And the people in New York are going to lunch, and at 12, the people in Chicago are going to lunch. So nothing's going to happen until 12:30, 1 o'clock. That's the way it normally works. But can it happen? Most definitely. I kind of miss Trump and his tweets. Every time he tweeted, the market would jump. My only problem was I just didn't know when he was going to do it. I mean, with our analysis, knowing what we know, there would have been a reason to be short up there at a certain area with a short stop, and you'd have made money on it. But if you didn't take Saul's class, you probably don't know about it, and you wouldn't have taken the trade. How do I see individual size at each level? Tim, I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about there. How do you see the individual size at each level? Are you talking about position sizing? Robert, you're just doing all the good today. And see, you're looking at all of these other things, and the only thing I'm looking at is a chart. Oh, Tim, I don't think you can see the size. The only thing that I saw is on the buy side there at 4,200, there was a bundle there, and they had like 600. And it's a lot of times as we approach those numbers, all of a sudden it just disappears before they get to them. I think they just kind of put them in there to attract the market to it, and everybody's going to get long. Then they'll suck it away, and then they'll continue down with it. You can't really buy and sell off of that. You just have to be aware that it exists down there. I wish there was a way to tell, like everybody's, and there probably is, except not on my chart. My chart shows the amount of volume within that bar. It doesn't tell you how many buyers you had and how many sellers you had. Now, there are some programs out there that you can purchase that will add those to your charts, and it will show you those areas. And I'm short on figuring out what to call it, but it's kind of like, I'm really, I'm here to enjoy myself. I don't want this to be a drudgery, and I tried that, and all it does is tear you up on the inside and beat up on you. It's just kind of like, I'm not good enough. Every time I do this, it does that. If you approach this thing where, look, personally, I don't know which way it's going. Wait a second here. Let me see if I can get one here. Well, you scamp. I was trying to scalp a point out of that trade, and it wouldn't let me. Wouldn't take me. you know, but if you come in, yeah, it just, like I say, we ought to go back to the '01. We're knocking on its door right now. So, after that, it's going to have to start showing its hand there to see what it might do. I know I have the 4, the 10s, the 12s. From about Tuesday, I had 16, 18, and 20 up there. These are not levels. These were areas that we should have gotten back to, and it didn't. We got the high last night was only 13 and a quarter. So that 20 is still out there. Now, are we going to it? I have no idea. You know, basically, I'm done for today. You know, I'm just sitting here moderating and helping where I can. You know, I have all of these areas that I see on the chart, and we all see different areas. But I guess my point is, you know, I come in, I sit down, you're relaxed. You're looking at what the chart's doing and not what you want it to do. And I keep pressing, okay, these are levels that I see. Now, how we get there, I can't tell you. But given the opportunity, and I missed this trade. I mean, I flat missed it. I was trying to jump on it at the 98 area. And see, we only went to 2075. Did anybody else have 4201? Reload my data, see if that. Okay, you did show 4201, huh, Casey? Yeah, sometimes my data does not give me that last tick. And if we get to 11, we should touch 12. I have resistance up at 12, 1250, 13. And then we have the overnight at 15. So Saul's got 13 down there. So I can tell you that it will help you if you can walk in and you say, okay, I'm going to figure these numbers out today. Where this is before Saul gives them out. Or write his numbers down and go back through and say, okay, why, where, and why. And just keep in mind that a lot of times that he may have the exact same idea that you do, but he's giving you a number less than that, so you'll be able to, he's trying to fade that number a little bit. So instead of a 58, you may have a 57, for instance. And so when you look at his numbers and your numbers, you kind of have to look at the overall, what did the market do? But learn to, and the reason I'm telling you this is when we first started taking his course, he said the only difference between him and I was that he believes in the numbers. So you're going to have to learn to find these areas and believe in them yourself. Because once you do that, I mean, do they always work? No. I think the most important rule is before you get into a trade is when you're looking at, if I get in here, where am I wrong? That's it. That, to me, that's the most important point, because that's where your safety net is. Do I want to fall 5 feet, 10 feet, or 100 feet? And depending on the volatility of the market, that net needs to be moved further away or closer accordingly. There's no sense in wasting money. And don't get into the same thing. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be right. Well, you may be, but you may have to sit in one heck of a drawdown. And I've done it. I do it, and it's the most stupid thing in the world for me to do it. And after I'm finished doing it, you look in the mirror and say, "Why did you do that? You know better." So learning to break those habits is, you bet, Fred. Thanks for showing up. Okay. Let's see here. I got to get caught up on my little chat things here. Casey want to know, what charts do I use? I have up a 1 minute, a 5 minute, a 30 minute, an hourly, and a daily. That's it. They're all E-mini charts. And the one that I kind of pay attention to is the 5 minute. The longer term time frame is the hourly and the daily. It just takes a while for those to get there. So, but you have some idea what it's doing. And but I'm using the same rules that I did on my 5 minute chart to trade my 1 minute chart, to trade my 30 minute chart or my hourly chart or 50. It doesn't really matter. There's nothing special about my charts. What Saul has, the only thing that I don't have is the Bollinger Bands. I have no use for a Bollinger Band because I honestly don't know how to use them. The platform that I'm running, Casey, I'm running Ninja. I'm running Ninja for the charting software, and I'm trading, and my brokerage firm that clears my trades is Interactive Brokers. I used to use eSignal. I liked eSignal, but I'm going, that's another $1,000 a year that I'm paying for data that I don't have to pay for, because I've owned NinjaTrader, a lifetime membership, for the last 10, 15 years. So, I see people that, I'm sure there is some, if you're a back tester, there are certain softwares out there that really do good. If you're going to do a lot of add-on stuff, Metastock probably one of the best. I'm trying to remember the name of the, there's just tons of, everybody's got trading programs out there. So, and TradeStation, yes. TradeStation is for these guys that sit down and they want to do tons of back testing and all of this. And they've all just come along and they just all have that capability. I'm not sure. Saul has a student in here, and if you really want to know something about TradeStation, I would tell you to contact him. Go through Brad and tell him you want to talk to Dale. And Dale's a programmer, and he's worked with TradeStation, I believe, for a long time, and he can tell you the ins and outs of it. there is in our room here, even through the I think we ought to have a pick a day, maybe a Saturday or something, and have a Zoom deal for all the students to come to, so we know who is who, and we can talk and visit, and because we always learn something from each other. It just share ideas, but it just we're all different animals. We're all going to see the same thing differently. Is the glass half full or half empty? I don't know if we're going to trade from that 96 back to that 01 again or not. Should, but I don't know. And I don't have a reason, except maybe right there. I don't have a good enough reason, let's put it that way, to take a long position. Well, I show up in t-shirts and a coverall and tennis shoes. I think that Zoom has the capabilities to have like a room full of pictures, like a classroom, and still see the chat area. But I've enjoyed, we've talked to people from all over the country and across the pond, and it's just interesting. It just, when I used to be in the greenhouse business, and a hurricane came through and tore us up, and I decided, well, I didn't want to be in the greenhouse business anymore. What is it that I wanted to do? Well, first of all, I didn't want any employees. I didn't want a big overhead business. You just throw lots of money at it and you get a little bit return on it and think that you're doing good. And I decided, well, where's all the money at? And it kept leading me to the stock market. So I said, well, I better learn to trade this. I like this. And then you got to make up your mind, because there is so much stuff out there to trade. There's just, what do you trade? Do I trade options? Do I trade ETFs? Do I trade stocks and bonds? And how I actually ended up in this, I actually started out messing with options, and I took a course from an outfit, and they were doing the E-mini. I had no idea what an E-mini was. And we went to, they had a seminar in Chicago there on the floor. And so we went to Chicago and actually got to see the pits and the people. And even back then, and this is back in like 05, 03, 04, somewhere in there, that talking to the guy that was kind of giving the tour, you ask him, he said, do these guys in the pit make any money? And he said, yeah, but he said, it's not uncommon for some of them to be down $1 million in a day. I'm going, I'd faint right there. And he said, but for the most part, at the end of the month, they all make money. But he says, it goes up and down. Back then it was mind-boggling to to understand how anybody could be down $1 million in a day. That was way out of my wheelhouse. And so I finally got to where I like this E-mini thing. And, back then to trade the E-minis, you had to have yeah, isn't that the truth? You had to have a account to trade stocks, an account to trade options, and account to trade futures. And I heard about this outfit called Interactive Brokers where you could put all your money in one thing. You could trade anything you wanted to. I'm going. And one of the guys that was teaching this course was an ex-football player, and that's where he traded at. And I'm going, well, that sounds like a good idea. So the moral of this story is do your research, find out what you like, and find you a platform that you like, because once you know where all the buttons are, if you're like me, you hate to change, because now I got to go on a new learning curve, which I didn't like the last one, so I know I'm not going to like this one. And I like turning on my chart. I like it everything the way I set it up. I don't have to mess with it. But I've learned a long time ago with computers, you better take you a picture of it, because sooner or later this sucker's going to crash and you're going to have to start over. But now when I start over, I just bring it up, plug in the USB thumb drive, and I'm back in business. This, when I started this, the thing I like about it is if I get mad at my employees today, I just shut them off. And something too is this is not considered a job. Like you gotta go out this. So you don't have, as you retire, you don't have to pay Social Security on this. This is just passive income. Now you do pay taxes, but you don't pay Social Security. And at least I don't. Now I may be wrong, so I wouldn't want to take that to the bank. Hell, I'm not showing nothing. Man, I'll tell you what, when they pull the plug on it, they pull the plug. Something I have not been able to figure out is after Europe leaves, I don't know how many orders they're staying long in the market with. I know they got out a little bit, but those are the people that aren't position trading. The big institutions, they know something. They got to know something. They're always on the right side of it. Or they're big enough that they can, the people like the Goldman Sachs, and they have brokerage houses all around the world. So it's like this morning, this market was down 50 points last night. Used to the normal trading market was running about 10 to 12 points at night. That was it. Average range in the day was about 20. 30 if you were lucky, but not 50 and 60 points. And I give up. I get out when there's news if I can. But it seems nowadays it doesn't. If the news is bad, market goes up. News is good, the market goes up. So who cares what the news is? They're going to push it where they want it to go. Now, is that correct? I have no idea. It is my opinion. It doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference. We get a bad unemployment number, market goes up. We get a bad Fed deal, market goes up. So, when we was trading back in 1600 area, I'd have never thought we'd have been up here in this 4200 range. We've been in this range like from, I'd say somewhere around 4213 down to 4272. I mean, that 4210 has been a pain in my side for days. I was telling Saul yesterday, I said, man, I wish they get faster around this 4210 area. Well, guys, I think I may go outside and watch some grass grow for a little bit. We're trading at that 96 level. Let's see. Should go back to 93.75, 94. Yeah, we're at the 94 already. I don't know about y'all, but I have missed a ton of trades today. I've been sitting over here keeping an eye on the chat box and not paying attention on the really and truly. I'd be just trading for the fun of it because I don't need to trade anymore today. Why the 90, Casey? Well, I see the blue band down there. I get aggravated because I saw that 93.75 and I'm going, why didn't I jump on it up there at 97? I had plenty of time to do it with a 98 out. Risk one to make three. You know, I don't know. I wish I could find somebody that could tell me why. You know, I've seen people trade off of 4-minute charts. Why 4 versus a 5? I've traded off 3 minutes and 1 minutes, but I've never traded off the 2. I guess I always figured that I could look at it and tell whether I'm on or off. You know, and Gann, he was a big Bible scholar, and I think it's in Ezekiel where scripture talks about wheels within wheels. And I kind of look at these charts like there's 5 1-minute bars and 1 5-minute bar. And then, then the same way there's so many bars in a 15-minute, 5 minutes in a 15. There's 6 in a 30, 12 in an hourly. So you've got to start someplace, and at some point, some of these charts, they don't take time into consideration. Only point moves, 2 point, like range bars. They won't change until we get 2 points above or 2 points below, and then they'll present another bar. And I'm looking. Sorry. So, it's got to show up on a 1 minute, then it's going to show up on a 5 minute, then it's going to show up on a 10 minute or a 2 minute, just whatever. So that is the way that I'm kind of backing up and looking at it. So once you okay. Man, it's just not giving you time to get in. Kind of looking for it to get back up to 97 1/4. Yeah. I'm just too slow. Well, I tried 2 or 3 times to buy that 9450. Every time I put it in there, it'd jump away from me. I just didn't leave it in. And we ought to touch 97. Yeah. Yeah, Robert, by far. Oh, yeah. For me, it has. And I tell you the secret. It's not when you take Saul's course. Yes, it's a lot of money, and I have taken a lot of courses. Even way back there, that's 10+ grand. I probably have spent $50,000-$60,000 on courses, looking for that right one. I had stumbled on, and I'm sure that if you've ever signed up for any kind of free webinar, you're getting 20 of these things a day, through Metastock, through Trading Pub, just days and days of everybody trying to sell you something. It's kind of like, okay, the thing that I heard Saul speak, and he spoke just like he does right every day in this room. And I've been in classes with people that yell and scream, "Oh yeah, 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 yeah! How to do that?" It's kind of like, Why do you have to do that? You know, why can't we just sit here and talk and do what we should do? And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. We took the trade. We took a shot. You know, you got to play to win. That's just as simple as it is. And out of I just got a bookshelf full of books on trading. And they'll all tell you first of all is there quote, there is no holy grail. Secondly, it is about money management. You know, it's simple math. It's kind of like if you're losing more than you're winning over time, then you know you're going to go broke. Right? Just simple as it can be. It's, you know, I took some big losses this morning when I was reading those numbers, but it's kind of like it's okay because at the end of the day, I've recaptured all of that and I'm ahead of the game. So I don't have a problem with that. But every one of us is facing that dilemma on losses. And so for me, the most important rule that I can give to anybody is when you start to take a trade, look at that trade and know where you're wrong. And until you can sit down and say, okay, if I bought the 48s, like I was trying to do there, looking for the 94s, looking for the 97s, you know, I'm wrong at 93. As simple as it can be. I'm wrong at 93, just below that swing. And so, did it do what I thought it was going to do? Yes, it did it in 2, 4, 6 minutes. So, you know, I risked 1 to make 3. So, to me, it if you're looking at trades like that, and you know, yeah, it's not a 10-pointer. Well, I like those 10-pointers, but you know, I can take a slew of these 3-point trades all day long. There's so many during the course of a day, it's not even funny. And so I can lose 50% of the time and still make money on the trades. So if you're in this to make money, you just take the trades as they show up and you say, okay, if I take this is where I'm wrong, put it on, let's go. Well, I kept putting that on and I never did get filled. And then I'd take my order off and it dropped back down there. Then I'd put it back in and it'd jump off of it. If I'd have put it in there and left it alone, it would have probably gotten filled. But the analysis was correct. The stop placement was correct. It just didn't get a fill. But I guess what I was telling you before, the thing that struck me about Saul is he didn't get excited. This is all we do. We don't do anything. We're here to scalp the market. We're not here to shoot 10-point runs, even though we do get them from time to time. So the question is, you know, for the first 3 months, I didn't do anything but sit on my hands and go to his class and come in and trying to make, I was trying to make more of it than what it is. You know, he'll tell you, keep it simple. Know where to get in, know where to get out, know what you're shooting for. That's it. It's that simple. I mean, we can throw tons of indicators on top of it, layer after layer, and we can make it really hard. But all I'm doing is watching the price action, what the price action's doing. I mean, and you have to watch it to do that. You have to kind of get a feel for it yourself. I don't know that, because it's how you perceive it as to what it's going to turn out to. I've got a bunch of little quirks in my trading that I use. And, you know, Saul told me, he says, I don't want you to throw out what you've learned from other people. He says, I want you to take that and combine it with what I teach you and make you a better trader. He's not trying to say, okay, this is the only way in the world to make money, because it's not. There is more than one way to skin this cat. And through the years, I have come up with, I call them gimmick trades. And they're nothing special. It's just that's what it does when it hits this point. Bam, bam, bam. It's that simple. And so when it's kind of like the blue band. When it gets to the blue band, you either buy it or sell it, depending on which way we're going. You get to a level, you fade the position, you get into a position, and you know where you're wrong, depending on the volatility of the day. This morning we started out a little over 18. We're down to 1785. So our volatility is shrinking a little bit. But Europe's gone home now. And so until people get back from lunch, it's going to be kind of slow. In all fairness to all the other people that I have taken courses from, I'd like to say I learned something from all of them. And probably the most important thing that I've learned from all of them is every one of their systems, I call it their systems or their way of trading, fits their personalities. They're either a numbers guy or they're a patterns guy, or, you know, we are trading support resistance. Basically, that's what we're doing. We're looking for areas in the chart that we are going to get a reaction off of. And so once you sit down and you stay with it for 2 or 3 months and you write the levels down, you go back and you write them down every day. I mean, I got logs going back for years now. And do I go back in and look at those logs? Yeah, from time to time. But if I want to go back a week or 2 weeks and say, okay, what did I miss? What did I not see? Why didn't this thing work? Well, we got to the area and it blew through the area. And the days that this market takes off and goes in one direction and never turns around is, you know, we're counter trend traders. We expect it to hit an area and we expect it to counter trend. Well, after so many times you get hammered, it's kind of like, nah, that's not working. Best thing to do is probably you got 2 options. You either change strategy and go with the flow if you can find you a spot to get long, or you just shut it down for the day and come back tomorrow. I mean, today's just not your day. It's not how I like to trade. And this thing, the way it was going up this morning, I didn't particularly like it. I was long, and yeah, I knew about where it should go, and it did go there. And then we bounced off of it, and we came back down, and we went back up. So, you know, and this all happened after 9:30, an hour later. So a lot of times I know I'm guilty of it. That bell rings. I am worse than a horse at the starting gate. Then open that gate, let me go. And usually my first instincts are wrong. If Saul tells you, do not come in here with a bias, you might want to believe him, because all it ever did to me is cost me money. Whereas you come in and you watch what the market's doing, and then you get a sense about it, and you just trade it, then everything works a whole lot better. You know, I'd be surprised if we didn't run back up to that 99. We should. Now, how we get there, I can't tell you. Am I willing to bet on it? If you do, you're going to have to be wrong at 95. So, I'm risking two to make two. So I can't. And I don't like the way it's shaping up. So I would leave it alone. Will it go back there? Maybe, probably. It's been working that 96, 99 to 01 area pretty hard. I mean, we have been just chewing that area. So we're going to have to get above something or below something to. And two is as the later in the day like this we get to, you just, if you can get a point out of it, hey, pat yourself on the back, take your point. Because I think a lot of these guys that are sitting around, all they're doing is running stops at lunchtime. I mean, I know that I'm not the only person seeing this. What I'm looking at, I guarantee you there's 1,000 other people looking at the same thing. Then you got to contend with algorithms. Their commissions are nothing. They jump in and they don't care if they make 2 ticks. But they can do 2 ticks 100% of the time. And there's a lot of 100% of times in a day's trading. So, I mean, their risk is nil and they're making money. The only advantage to it is when it gets real volatile, you see those guys disappear pretty quick. And you see a lot of us traders disappear too because we can't stand a 15 or 20 point draw. It's great when it works, and it sucks pond water when it goes against you. Come on. You want to run up there. I'm not in the trade. I'm just kind of egging it on a little bit. That's not looking good. We need to close that 5-minute bar back up above 97.50. Yeah. Robert, see the answer to your question is a resounding yes by far. Yep. So much for the 99. I mean, if you were willing to take the 97s and stops at 95, you're okay so far. I mean, you even got a chance to even scratch the trade. Well, if you were in that trade, I hope you were able to get out. Let's see here. Yeah, Chad B, if I'm around when he comes in, I will tell him to look back and send that text if he's probably watching on the back end. Hey guys, I'm going to take a break for a few minutes. I'll be back here shortly.
Hey, quick shout out to Tim S. Hey, Tim, you back? Let me know in chat. Tim S. Hey, Roy E. Hey, Roy, let us know if you're back. Laura H. Let us know if you're back. Hey, Calvin R. Just looking for the. I'd sent out some opportunities to sign up for Sol's monthly access. Just want to make sure they're all registered in the background and set up for today. So give me a quick shout out. Let me know what we're doing. Laura H, Roy E.
Right. We're down to 93. I'll tell you what, they sure are making it hard just to even make a point now. They just dragging this thing out. Man, I tell you what, waiting on that last point's tough. I think this is good enough. Man, we should have touched that 96.50. Yeah, I see we finally made it back to that 99 area. There we go. Actually, the second time worked better than the first round. We was trying to get long at 97 with a stop at 95. Well, it wouldn't go, so we scratched the trade. We had another opportunity to buy in at 94.50, and we bought in, and we got out at 99. So the trades worked out. The next question is we're going to back to 01 and higher, or don't know. As it stands right now, I have nothing there showing me anything, so I'm flat and sitting on the sidelines. If you have any questions, if I can answer them, I'd be more than happy to. I'm kind of like Saul. After a few minutes, you run out of stuff to talk about. I'd like to know the people that are still in the room, how many of you get loads of emails from people having webinars? Is there a bunch of them out there? Are y'all getting as many as I'm getting? I'm getting bunches of them. Everybody went to lunch. Do you get I mean, there's just not a day that go by that I don't get 8, 10 to 15, and and there's each and every one of them has merit, I guess. It just, I'm assuming that a lot of these people are making money, but one thing's for sure, if it doesn't fit your personality, All you got to do is just foul up. But I don't know about y'all, but I look at a lot. You got to have this indicator and said, okay, this is a special indicator. And you look at it and it's kind of like, nothing special about it. It's just telling you what the market's already telling you. Keep what's important and throw out the rest. One thing about Saul's method, there's not a whole lot of things to contend with except the levels, the pivot, and the blue band. That's it. Boy, isn't that the truth? It's tough to sit here and say, well, I can say what I think this thing's going to do, and somebody else will think it's going to do just the opposite. Well, one thing's for sure, it's going to do one or the other. So, with that said, when we get into a trade, we should not know what it's going to do. We have an idea what we think it will do, and we know where we're wrong. Period. It's that simple. So, that trade showed its hand, then it pulled back and it kept pulling back, then it broke out, then it pulled back again. And when it pulled back again, that's where it gave me the entry point. Then bam, off it went. I knew I could get 2 points or better out of it with a probability of looking for the 99. And that's what happened. And once I don't know about the rest of it, once I get profit in a trade, it's hard for me to just not suck that stop up to break even. And if I look like it's coming back down into my stop area, I take a profit and get out. Well, look at it. Once I'm profitable, there should be no reason to lose money. That's true. That's what I thought about him. I said, this is a guy that comes in every day and he trades his account. And I don't know what the rules of the game are that he has to abide by being an educator, but I know that when he was on the floor, that he was not allowed to show you his trades. And so if we're gonna, I think the most liberating feeling that we as traders can have is to really realize that, look, I have the tools, the knowledge, the know-how, and I can do this on my own. I don't need somebody else telling me this stuff. And then after a while, after you do it for a while, it's kind of like, this thing's either going up, down, or sideways, or it's not doing anything. It's just sitting there. But you can only trade what it's doing. And until somebody can come in and say, look, I got a thing that is 100% sure that, look, you buy it here, you get out here. Hey, it probably won't be around for long. It's either that or the big guys will own it. And the little retail traders are going to get stepped on. Well, I don't know. It just, think of it, and you said, and if you had it, you wouldn't give it away. Well, it goes back to that thing that I was trying to explain to you earlier, about all these people that I have taken courses from, that it works for them. But it didn't work for me because I didn't have the personality for it. I either didn't have the patience or the fortitude, or I didn't like the drawdowns, for whatever reason. So, but they're still doing it today and they're still making money. Been doing it for years. So there's more than one way to skin this cat. It just, you got to find one that fits your personality and something that you don't have to think too hard at. You just do it. And when you get to the point that you're just doing it, it becomes fun. You just put on the trade, you get stopped out. Okay. There'll be another one along in a little while. Just wait and see. Don't get in a hurry. Be patient. That's another thing he's taught me. Be patient. And then try not to overtrade. I was looking back. I think it was Robert C. asked me if my investment with Saul has paid off, and have you been able to recover your investment? Yeah. It's kind of nice that even on a mark now, I have to admit that when we were down in that VIX was trading in that 10 and 12, it was tough to make a point. Man, you made a point and a half. You figured, man, this was a big run. So we need volatility. We can only trade what the market will give us. But under these current markets where we're at, there's nothing to get a 3 to 5 point run. For me today, I've had a 10-pointer and several couple of pointers and several 4-pointers. And so it's kind of like, I don't need to trade anymore today. Why risk it? I've made money today. It worked out good today. Where's it going now? I have no earthly idea, to be honest with you. Where do I think it'll go? I think we'll come back down to that 91.75 area, but it doesn't have to. That's just a thought. I don't see any evidence saying we have to. So once you have these biased, like at 91.75, we're going there. Well, I don't know that it's going there. I can quickly tell you that we should come back to 94.75. And then we ought to go back up to 97.75. So there's too many signals going both ways. And when it gets like that, it gets real hard to trade. One of them's going to be right, but until it shows me which one, I'm just going to have to sit on the sidelines. But I guess it goes along with, if I had the right system, I've never seen Mr. Saul's account. Don't know. I can tell you this. I believe with all my heart that the man makes money at it. Does he lose money at it too? Sure, we all do. But everything that he tells you here during the day, take heed to his word, because he's telling you the truth. We want to trade 50 times a day, and it's easy to do. You're better off trading fewer times and picking your spots, have better probabilities of the outcome of the trade, knowing where you're wrong. You know, even if you're wrong on the trade and you stopped out, it's I give you a good instance. It's just like that. Okay, I felt like we were going from 97 to 99. Well, it didn't clear us out. It gave us time to scratch the trade. It wasn't working, so we got out. Then we dropped all the way down into 93. Well, would I jumped on it at 93? I don't have a reason to jump on it at 93. There's no numbers. There's nothing telling me that, okay, we ought to go up. Well, it stuck its head up above 94, and I'm looking at a smaller time frame chart. It stuck its head up and it went up and it pulled back down to that support. Well, at 94.50, I was slow. I should have been in at 94, but I gave it that 94.50. Well, my out was down here at 91.50. But I felt like minimum we're going to 96, if not to 99. And it did that. Went a little higher, 4,200. But, you know, it's the way that you think about the logic of the trade. Okay, this was an area that we should go back to. We're coming back to support. This is an area or a number or a level or whatever. I want to buy it here, and you know my stop should be here to give it some room. And so once you do that, you know there's just tons and tons of trades every day that if you haven't taken Saul's class, you won't know about them. Or you may know about them, but you don't know the importance of them and how they're working. And once you learn all of this stuff, which is not hard to learn, there's not that much to learn. It's just a few basics, and then it's like, okay, let's trade. And you don't think about it. This is where I'm entering. This is where I'm wrong. Let's go. Okay, this is, if I'm trading multiples, odds are that I'm going to get this 90% of the time. Well, take some off at 90% of the time. That's good, high probabilities. And take the other one at 2 points. And if you've got a third one on, let it ride or bring your stop up. There's no reason to lose money. You just trade it. But you got to be disciplined enough to trade it. This is what I do. This is where I'm wrong. This is where I'm going to get out. And if you only make 2 points, 3 points out of a 10-point run, pat yourself on the back and say, I was correct. Wait for the next turn. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it. You have a great day. Enjoy your lunch. I'm just kind of hanging around waiting for around 2 o'clock. But I'm not going to talk between now and 2. Guys, I'm going to be in the background. If y'all need anything, just type it in and we'll answer you.
Hey, quick shout out to Calvin R. Hey, Calvin, are you back? Let me know in chat, Calvin. Hey, Carlo, KC, Frank. Hey, Glenn, Joel V, KG, Kurt, Laura H, Peter O, Robert C, and Roy E. Hey, Roy, are you back? Let me know in chat. Laura H, let me know if you're back. Anybody else that wants to sign up for Sol's monthly based on the friends and family discount, just raise your hand. If you already got it, that's okay. Just fill it out. I've been watching in the background to make sure everybody's okay.
Go ahead, Casey. You still around? Yeah, I'm just in the background here. I was digging around in the charts. You need something, holler. What up, buy above the 04? Until we get to 1 o'clock, I'm just kind of. It would not surprise me to see us run up to the 04. That's for sure. But if we got above 04, where would we go? Well, our next level up above 04 is 13. We get above 04, we should go to 10. We can get above 10, that gives us 12. And the high of yesterday was the 15. Like I say, we're coming up on noon. I'm waiting to see what it's going to look like between 1 and 2 o'clock. And I will probably play the end. I like playing the end. I shouldn't play anymore at all. I do it because I enjoy it, not because I need to. We have to get back above the 08 level. That's where we opened up at. 25 says we ought to get back to 99 and into 91. I'm showing two patterns. One of them says we're going back to 99 and down to 91. Oh, there's too many signals being thrown out. It's getting pretty choppy now. You know, between 98 and 99, there's not a whole lot of profit in it. You'd have to run a tight stop. I don't like what they did with it earlier today. After about 10 o'clock, they just shoved it up here. And I'm waiting. You know, now for me, now's not a time to trade. It's not even good scalping territory for me. They're just, well, we got to the 99. That's true. Very true. You know, I've got plenty of targets that are just sitting out there that we either hadn't been hit or need to hit. And one of them is the 04. The other one's down there. It's at 6450. I've got targets all the way down to, I think, 4100 area, low 4100s. We still hadn't hit the 6450. And the 4024.75 is way down there. I can see us, if we make a turn to the downside, I can see us going down to the 40, low 40s. It's not going to be pretty when it does that, but I can see it happening. Now, is it going to happen? I don't have any idea. And I could see us actually reversing this market and taking it down today. You know, we still got almost 4 hours left in this thing. Ask me again in about another 30 minutes, 35 minutes, about 105, 110. I'll have a better handle on what it should be doing. What it should do and what it will do is going to be two different things. And we just have to trade what it is instead of what we want it to be. let's see, we have 99. Saul is using 4 today. I've got 4 and 550. That last run up to that 42 area stopped it dead. So we have to see if we can get past it.